Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the Premier Auditor channel, FGC Cast, your only home where washed up players tell you FGC news. I am one of the greatest retirees inside the Skullgirls community, DaPurpleBride, and I'm here as always with my co-commentator and geriatric friend, Yohosie. How you doing today, Don?
I'm doing good. I'm doing extremely washed up today. Extra clean, extra sparkly, and just as bad of a player as I always was. So I'm chilling, big chilling. How you doing, Sharpie?
You know, it's crazy that you asked that. I'm actually doing pretty well. And you know, it's probably just because of my past, 2.5 months. I told the listeners on the stream the very last time we were live that I've been struggling with planning my wedding. Now, you know, it's and you're married. You're married, Don, so you know how much of a headache sometimes weddings can be, you know? It's just a lot.
I mean, listen, planning and forethought is not my strong suit, so I got married on Zoom. That is also why I was a Dragon Ball player. So I think that as a Skullgirls player, someone who plays an educated, an intelligentsia's game, planning a wedding seems more up your alley than mine. So you signed up for it, you get what you pay for, you know?
You know, it's one of those things where it's I can definitely block 9-way mix-ups. I cannot in any way, shape, or form prepare for a wedding. So earlier this week, I actually took to Twitter and I made a public statement that at this point now I kind of regret, but I said, weddings suck because it's like preparing to spend a bunch of money on a tournament that you don't even get to enjoy. And then after I immediately tweeted that, I remembered that I ran Xanadu games for 4 or 5 years for games that I didn't play. You know?
Yeah.
That was a moment.
Listen. Not every tournament can be your best tournament ever, right?
That's true.
Some tournaments, even if you plan them and you have a good time running them and you have a great time leading up to it and all that stuff, there's going to be moments that are rough, right?
That's
planning
very
a wedding,
true.
I would imagine is the rough parts of planning a tournament. You know what I mean?
At some point you enjoy it, and then you're also just kind of like, man, what if we just went straight to top 8? What if we just skip straight to already being inside of top 8? We don't have to do any pools. We're already there on Sunday.
Right.
How do we get there?
Well, if you just gotta work for Smash Melee, right? Just do the top player privilege. Can I just skip pools and skip the top 64? That's basically what you're asking. And
you're
me,
right.
as someone who has run a lot of brackets, yeah, sure, why not? Just let it rock. Whatever.
What's the issue? I'm not understanding what the issue is. And you know what's crazy about all of that as well is that there's just so much inside of an actual tournament. For example, one of the biggest tournaments on the East Coast actually happened this past weekend, CEO. For those of you who weren't aware, that is a tournament held inside of Daytona, Florida, by the same organizers who bring you events like CEO Taku, DreamHack. You know, it's run by Alex Jabali, very well known for making the Jabated face. That has now become a Twitch emote, I believe. And it's also run by Tampa Never Sleeps Tong, who is a very well-known organizer. We've talked about him previously on this cast as well.
With CEO this weekend, it was pretty hype watching all my friends go and compete, and it was the biggest, the first real Street Fighter 6 major, right? There's been tournaments that people have traveled for, but CEO is the first thing we would consider a major, right? I think post-COVID, the line between major, regional, and invitee event is somewhat blurring.
Oh, very much so, yeah.
CEO is a classic, right? Like people go to CEO to play, and so really, really excited to see all the matches that were there. I unfortunately could not go based on something that we're going to talk about a little bit later, but I watched some of the matches and they were all pretty dang hype, not gonna lie.
You know, one of the things I would absolutely love to talk about, and I'll let you kind of take point on this a little bit,
sure,
Don, but one of the things that CEO does really, really well is top 8. And I think that's kind of indisputable. I don't think there's a single person that would disagree with me on that statement. You know, do you kind of want to talk about what's so unique about top 8s at CEO a little bit?
I would love to. Let me maybe regale you with a story to describe
Please do.
CEO Top 8. So, have I ever told you about my CEO Top 8 story?
No, you've not, actually.
Okay, well, let's get into it. So, CEO 2023, at every CEO since, God, I don't know, like 2015, they had a wrestling ring in the middle, right? Because wrestling is kind of their motif. They have like the belt as their trophy they have for a very long time. The big thing about CEO is there's the wrestling ring, and when you enter it during Top 8, you get an intro that you can make your own and a song you can make your own. It's like their big thing, and you climb into the wrestling ring. And it's super hype. Everyone makes their own moments. In 2015, I got to do my own intro into the wrestling ring.
Oh, did you?
Because I made Top 8 in Persona, and I wasn't really playing that much, so I didn't think I would. So I put my theme to enter the ring as Full House, Tim Allen Tool Time -dubstep remix. And I made Top 8, and I sent a tweet to Jabali that just said, "Oh no." So I didn't want to enter to Tool Time dubstep, so I entered to the MODOK theme last second because I was a MODOK player back then.
Yeah.
MODOK's my boy in Marvel. And that was kind of my story. But yeah, you get to make your own. You get to do your own hype intros. There's been some really famous ones with Dominion. There's been some famous ones with K-Brad doing the Stone Cold Steve Austin. Generally, it's just a good time where you can have a lot of fun.
For sure. And I mean, this event was also absolutely no different. We had really, really stacked top 8s. I know you didn't get a chance to watch it. I've been over here just planning out my wedding, so I didn't get a chance really to watch it that much either.
Sure.
But I will ask you, like, were you excited to hear about one of the very first offline events? We talked about this last podcast, but one of the very first offline events for Street Fighter 6. Like, people showed up and showed out for Street Fighter 6. You know, I'd love to know your thoughts on like what you think about the community as it develops offline. And just, I believe Minna RD actually won top 8 for like placed in Street Fighter for first.
Yeah, so Minna RD won. Minna RD won with good old Blanca. It's interesting because I don't like Blanca, but I like him in Street Fighter 6. I actually think he's a cool character. It turns out that just giving him like a meaty projectile with the electrified doll is kind of hype, and it makes the character a lot more exciting than just like him being lame, which Street Fighter 6 does well, by the way. Like there's a lot of variety to characters that didn't exist before. But yeah, so Minna RD won, Nephew got second, and Punk got third. It was very much, I think there's a little bit of character unfamiliarity from Nephew. Like Minna RD hit a lot of mix-ups that probably shouldn't hit. Maybe Nephew didn't know the frame data, but there's not a lot of high-level Blancas out there. He's an uncommon character. But yeah, it was fun to watch. You know, Minna RD played really well. If there's anyone that should win the first offline major, honestly, it's probably Minna RD. Nephew kind of came out of nowhere. Like, Nephew places and plays. Usually not second at a major, but hey, it's a new game.
Yeah, I totally get that. I was very surprised seeing Minna win, because Minna to me is like the people's champ. Like, I'm always very happy when I see Minna do well inside of here, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if other people feel that way. I just know that's my feeling, but I am happy that you agree.
Yeah. It's interesting because he wins with characters that are pretty atypical. Like, when people think of a classic fighting game top tier, they think heavy mix, which I guess Blanca has, but like mix heavy, very nimble characters, and Minna RD tends to choose awkward, heavy characters over the nimble characters. Like in Street Fighter 5, right? He picked Birdie when everyone else was picking Karen, right? He picked Birdie when people were picking Mika. Mika, not a very nimble character, but overall, like, people picture nimble characters winning. Akuma winning, right? Not Birdie, not Blanca, not these characters that kind of are a stand still and you come at me type character. So really cool to see Minna RD win. All of top 8 was pretty hype. I didn't get to watch all of it. I missed the first few matches. Sticky Fingers, I'd love to catch up on. Like Sticky Fingers with Manon de France, placing 4th. Someone I'm not familiar with, but someone who clearly has a lot of talent to make it this far.
Yes, for sure.
So yeah.
Shout outs to everybody who placed. Like, there was a lot of hype about this tournament, especially in its placement inside of the fighting game community. And if anybody got anything, honestly, inside of top 24, they have a pretty strong Street Fighter 6 career ahead of them inside of this game. So congratulations to everybody who placed anywhere in top 48 for this tournament.
Yeah, I was gonna say top 49 is honestly like my limiter. If you made top 64, you're pretty good at this game, you know?
Oh, for sure. So let's go ahead and also just shout out the top 8 winners for Guilty Gear Strive. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up on the stream really quickly. And I just want to say shout outs to OBS for their amazing browser source integration and HTML integration, and shout outs to Smash.gg, otherwise known now as Start.gg, who is the very first program to have ever been acquired by Microsoft and not completely ruined.
Hooray!
Rest in peace, Skype. Rest in peace, Slack.
Hooray! Well, yeah, good.
Shout outs to my homies over at Start.gg living their best lives, dude.
There are people who are listening to this that probably have never used Skype.
Ever in their entire life. Ever,
like
dude.
Skype, that boomer program. I remember using Skype. Skype had a free phone number, or a $10 a year phone number thing that I used.
Yes, it did. I couldn't afford
a phone for a job interview, so I did a Skype number. I remember that very specifically. But
I use Skype numbers all the time. I would have like little Twitch segments, and I set up an IP phone so like people could call in like it was a radio session, and I would use a Skype phone number for that.
People probably think that we're like the oldest people on the planet. Like,
well, we are. We're over 25.
We gotta dial in the ham radio and RSS feed and join my IRC chat.
Not IRC.
Yeah, that's right. I download MIRC and join my Ventrilo. My TeamSpeak.
Hashtag tuna slap. Oh my god, not my Ventrilo, my raid call, dude.
Bro, yeah, we're trying to take down Molten Court Ragnaros tonight. Hit me up on Ventrilo. But yeah, Strive top 8. Adventure 1, Adventure Jacko. Crazy. Yeah, Adventure honestly cleaned absolute house in Strive. Insanely clean 6-0 over MFCR. Just a very, very, very talented player who I think hasn't really had a chance to shine, but like just kind of smoked his way through top 8. Very close match versus Lord Knight. Shoutouts to Lord Knight. Beat Test Your Luck, honestly one of the nicest guys in the FGC I've ever met, playing Nagoriyuki, then beat Super Noon, then beat Marvello, then beat MFCR. Like, the further he went in tournament, the less matches he lost.
Yeah.
I've never seen like a cleaner like top 8 sweep from losers. So
that's really, really strong. Because he started in losers with LK, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know who he lost to be honest, but he was cooking that day, like absolutely cooking. So good stuff to Adventure. I don't know where this came from. He's always been good.
Yeah,
but, like,
it looks
gosh darn it.
The only thing that I can't pull up, unfortunately, who he lost to, but yeah, congratulations to him. That's a really, really clean sweep.
Yeah, you never. I mean, who knows? Maybe he lost early. I'm not really sure, but you know, he played really well.
Yeah, he did. All right, so we have our Tekken top 8 bracket. And I just want to give a personal shout out here before we go ahead into our Tekken type 8, but I really want to shout out Iambic. Iambic is actually someone that you may know, Yohosie, because they were actually a part of the same program that you assisted with, I think, called EXO Academy, that's run by TNS Persia. Iambic is actually one of the women inside of the program that was actually trained as a commentator for Tekken. So she actually got to commentate top 8 with Markman. She commentated Evo as well, and she commentated Combo Breaker. But I wanted to shout her out because it's like whenever I see black femmes on the mic, like that is so unique and so special, especially for a big top 8 like Tekken. Like Tekken 8, Tekken 7 is going through a huge revival right now. And so her being inside the spotlight, I just want to give her kudos and her flowers for that, because she worked really, really hard to get here, and she's put in the time and energy. Something you don't usually see, especially when people are on commentary. People just assume, you're just grandfathered into these type of things. But she put in a lot of time and energy into perfecting her craft, and I'm really happy to see her succeeding and being given opportunity at events like this.
Yeah, I haven't had the opportunity to watch her commentary just because I'm not a huge Tekken watcher.
Understandable, yeah.
But, EXO Academy produces great players and great commentators for the women in the FGC. So, good stuff to Iambic.
Amazing
I also
stuff.
really dig the name. I can't say your name without thinking pentameter, just because it's like natural. But yeah,
I was also thinking pentameter the entire time I was saying iambic. The entire time I was like, bro, she is dropping an amazing branding opportunity right now. You know, like. Anyway, Tekken Top 8. Inside of first place, we had Jiang Ding, who I believe is actually I think that's a Korean player, and I may be incorrect here.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, yeah, because I know that like Tekken is run by a lot of like they have an international scene show up for these type of events, you know? So if I mispronounce anybody's name or I misstate where they are from, please correct me. People later on in the comments, I suppose. In second place, we had CBM. In third place, we had Pena. In fourth place, we had Kokoma, I think. Is how it's
probably. Kokoma.
That's a lot better than the way I said it.
Kokoma.
Yeah. Exactly. And then in fifth place, we had Chikurin, and we also had FDX. Both players, it looks like Chikurin is actually an international player based upon their Twitter. I actually think I can't tell what language this is. I'm not actually going to assume because I do not know what language this is. I'm not even going to.
Kokoma is like a South Korean fighting game player.
He is?
Yes. Okay. Yes, I'm looking it up on the internet today.
Okay, but right now, Chikurin, I believe, is actually Japanese because Google translated their tweets from Japanese.
Ew.
So
okay, that's probably true.
They had a huge international show out at this event. And then we have Phil Lamb as well, who was also tied for fifth. I believe Phil is actually from here. So the United States.
Are.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we have Arslan Ash, very, very well-known player, who placed in seventh, as well as Grilanda, who placed in seventh as well. Arslan Ash, as everyone knows, is actually a Pakistani player who most notably won EVO about, I believe now, like 2 years ago. Was it? It wasn't last year. It was like before quarantine.
I don't really keep up with EVO as much as I should. I know last year they got third.
They did really well. I don't know previous Tekken,
years. Yeah, they always do really well in Tekken. You know, if you watch Tekken, you know Arslan Ash.
It's really funny because this is actually, I believe, the very first time they haven't placed in like a top 3 or something at an event. And so when Arslan like lost, he said, you know, it's really funny. Everyone says, I think someone said something about like American players like not being as good or something. I think Speedkick said that. And what killed me was that Arslan Ash then quote retweeted it and was like, people come to Pakistan, they level up. I come to NA, I level down for real. And that just killed me. That killed me, dude.
Bro, I mean, you know what they say about Florida? Florida's a debuff, all right? When you're in Florida, you enter it and you go, brr, 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 you know, like you get -10 agility, -50 strength. Like I feel it, bro. I feel it. You go to Florida, you're feeling it.
He has been playing with a lot of people. He's been playing with Cuddlecore. He's been going on like different Street Fighter and stuff tours with different players in New York. It's really nice to see the camaraderie around it. But the exact quote that Speedkick said was, "You guys said NA Tekken was weak, but Arslan was here playing with us for a whole month, and then he had his worst placement in recent history. That's the power of NA, baby."
That's NA, baby. You play with us, you get the worst.
Bro, I love it. I love it so much. And then finally, rounding up 9th place. Well, I won't really talk about 9th place. We'll just focus on top 8 here. But yeah, congratulations to all of Tekken top 8. I think we have a couple of other games, so we're going to speed run them through these here. But I do want to say, I want to give honorable mention right now to Super Smash Brothers, which we will not be covering their placements here, just out of interest of time, and also because I don't know the scene well enough to comment on any of their top 8. But I will say I have it on very good authority that some of their brackets and some of their matches were actually the loudest ones there. And that's crazy considering the very next game that I'm about to show, which is Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I think that was like actually the main featured game there, mostly because of its notable entry at EVO later this year.
Yes.
So this will be like one of the very last official like East Coast tournaments before Defend the North. Defend the North, I believe, will be the very last like major tournament on the East Coast. That'll be an opportunity for people to practice before EVO.
Yeah, and you know, the players you see here are kind of no surprise. I think Jabril is maybe a little bit of an unknown for some people. Jabril winning the whole thing. He is one of the strongest Marvel players and was kind of a secret boss in like the very post, like there's like the old guard, right? In Marvel, like the Viscount, the Noels, the Ray Rays. Well, Ray Ray is slightly newer. The Flockers. Jabril is like the era afterwards. It was actually pretty strong then. I believe he was pretty young when Marvel came out, but yeah, Jabril, an insanely strong player, has been very consistently actually playing the game since release up until now, so it's no surprise that he is playing at the highest level and ended up winning the whole thing.
That's godlike, honestly. He's from your region as well, right? He's from Seattle?
I don't know.
That's at least what Smash GG is telling me. Which is kind of crazy that you can just immediately determine someone's entire... The way you can scout with Smash GG now.
Yeah. I was under the impression... I think Jabril might live here now, but I think he's from SoCal, because I think
that would actually make a lot of sense to me.
I think he used to play with Super Noon.
That would make a lot of sense. That would make a lot of sense to me. But this Marvel top 8 was pretty stacked. In first place, we have Jabril. In second place, we have Noel Be Hungry, otherwise known as Noel Brown. Very, very well-known Marvel player. Third place, we have IDOM, very well known for Street Fighter. Also, obviously competes inside of Marvel. We have Ray Ray, who is a very, very well known Marvel player. I believe he used to be on the old Marvel team Control, along with his old teammate, Coach Steve, who actually placed 5th, along with Ronan Healy, who tied with Coach Steve for 5th. In 7th place, we have a tie between Kane Blue River and Flocker. Now, I don't believe KBR is a new name to really anybody. Everybody knows KBR as an international player who is very well known for his hawk. He's Chilean, has always repped Chile, and just basically comes out and places at Marvel events. I'm not familiar with Flocker. Do you actually know them at all?
Oh yeah, Flocker won Evo. He's a
really?
Yeah, Flocker's an Evo champ. He's like the best zero.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, he I know all these players. Like Flocker won Evo. He's godlike.
That's crazy.
He is from Miami, I believe. If not Miami, somewhere in Florida for sure. Same with Ronan Healy. They're both from Florida. Yeah,
Flocker's from Miami, and I'm not able to look up the other one, but I probably believe that they're also from Florida too.
Yeah, Ronan's from Tampa.
That's a pretty stacked bracket. They're definitely like. To me, this bracket looks definitely like we're practicing for EVO. This is my chance to get out to learn these matchups a little bit more and pocket some cash, you know?
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm really excited. And Ronan, you know, we played Marvel way back in the day, so I'm glad to see them do well.
I think the very next game we'll talk about will be Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, that specific top 8. I know you didn't get a chance to watch any part really of like any of the top 8s here, but as I go ahead and pull up, were there any characters inside of the game right now that you're really excited to be able to see and stuff?
For Grand Blue?
Yes. Oh wait. Actually, that's a little bit later, isn't it? Sorry, I'm skipping.
Sure.
I'm skipping comments. My brain is skipping as I copy paste the incorrect thing. Anyway, here's the top 8 for Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. This is a segue. In first place, we have the wrong.
Oh no, this is Marvel.
This is definitely Marvel.
Jabril did not win Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. I'm pretty sure about that. Yeah,
he's a king, but he didn't do all of that.
No. I'm gonna if Zombie was there, I'm gonna guess it's Zombie. I didn't watch this, but I'm gonna guess Zombie would have won.
Zombie did not win. Zombie's actually not even in top 8, believe it or not. That's crazy to me because I do know Zombie because I remember when he was a free agent. And he was posting his resume on it. That's actually when I met Zombie, but he's a great person. Unfortunately, just not inside this top 8. In first place, we have Mad Best Killer. In second place, we have Beepaw. In third place, we have Neo Karsh. In fourth place, we have Ham Salad. Tied for 5th, we have Nathan and Me Again. And tied for 7th, we have Danny and Sierra. I actually like Sierra as a name, by the way. That's just really good.
That's a good name.
It's a very good name.
Good stuff to all these players. I know exactly one of you, but I'm sure you're all very good at Grand Blue Fantasy Versus.
It really be like that sometimes. It really
I remember you'd played Taskmaster, so you did it. I remember you played Taskmaster in Marvel.
I love you remembering a player name from what they played in Marvel. That's so good.
I don't remember.
That's really fighting games in a nutshell. I know you played Marvel vs. Capcom. Here's the character you played in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yes,
I see how it translates into this game. Congratulations.
Congratulations. You played Marvel, so I know who you are.
You played Marvel better than they played Grand Blue. I'm sorry. No, in all seriousness, congratulations to everybody who played Grand Blue. Here are your top 8 finalists for DNF Duel. Don, would you like to read off the top 8 finalists?
Sure, yeah. Top 8. So who won the tournament? First place, Linkies, Blue Linkies, excuse me. Second place, Tenured Mule. Third place, we have Taco FL. Then we have Gone Mad in 4th. In 5th, we have Vagabond and Nathan. And in 7th, we have GC Yoshi and Profete. So yeah, good stuff to all players. Blue Linkies, glad that he won. Tenured Mule, you'll get him next time, champ. I believe in you. Your Hitman, as always, worth believing in. And then, yeah, we got Troubleshooter in 4th. In 3rd, excuse me, Gone Mad, Ghost Blade, and then et cetera, et cetera. So good stuff to all players. It was fun to watch. Blue Linkies, I'm glad you won. You deserve it. You always consistently place top 8, and it's nice to see you clutch it out. So
very nice.
Good job.
Congratulations. Yeah. The final bracket we'll be talking about today is not going to be KOF or Dragon Ball Fighters or Third Strike or even Melty Blood, as much as I love Melty Blood. It's going to be Mortal Kombat 11, and that's because Mortal Kombat 1 is coming out later this year, and I would love to go ahead and talk about it after we talk about some of these crazy top 8s here. Congratulations to Euphoring, who won first prize here. Gur took second. Filato, OD_Filato actually took third. In 4th place, we had Para's HP. Tied for 5th, we have Simi J and C-Jack. And tied for 7th, we have Dialogue, as well as Too Easy. So congratulations to all involved. And with that, let's just go straight into the Mortal Kombat playtest. Let me preface all of this by saying, firstly, that I did not get into the playtest.
Yeah,
did you get in?
I also did not get into the playtest, so unfortunately, I was stuck playing the, the awful prize of having to enjoy Final Fantasy 16 all weekend.
Oh, it sounds so horrible, honestly,
horrible.
Don.
I had to,
it sounds so terrible. I'm sorry that fate was bestowed upon you. But for those fantastic players that did have an opportunity to play it, what we have here are a couple of clips grabbed from both Twitter and Twitch of Sonic Fox gameplay, Saki Sakura gameplay, and we even have the very elusive random Twitter video that I found, Brutality gameplay. So I just want to say, honestly, based off everything that I saw on the MK1 demo from this past weekend, this game looks very hyped, dude. This game looks very, very good.
I feel like you couldn't look on Twitter for more than 3 seconds without seeing a hype Kenshi clip. Like, that character is just built for Twitter clips.
I agree.
Yeah, it was what, Kenshi, Sub-Zero, Kung Lao, and Kitara. And yeah, the game looks really good. It looked just as good as it did in the preview trailers that we saw from, I believe, some influencers.
Yeah.
It just looks really good. Like, it plays really well. I mean, obviously it's a stress test, so not a lot of people get in. I did not get in. A few people, I think Sonic Fox didn't even get an invite. I think they had to have someone send them a code. It's one of those.
Yeah.
Not like they bought a code.
No, I don't think Sonic would ever buy a code. I'm sure it was but it was a very, very big event, and I think just a lot of people didn't get opportunities. People that you would usually think would get. I think it was the same thing with Street Fighter,
Yeah. It's very if you have never done these types of things, when you send out these codes, you kind of just press a button, it goes and then it just spits out and sends out the invites and said, congratulations, you're done, email sent, done.
That is literally what happens. It's literally like a dial-up button, dude.
Yeah, so then like, okay, the influencers afterwards, like your top players and people that know the game, they get sent the codes after. That's usually how it goes if they don't get one. But regardless, all that being said, it was pretty select on who got in terms of like not a lot of people, but what did get in seemed really exciting, seemed really hype. The usual stuff you see early on in a game. I would call this probably like in a beta state. So like Katara Infinite was found pretty early on that people were abusing, but hey, that's fun. Kenshi's hype as always. It just looks like a good game. It looks fun. It controls well, apparently. It's still Mortal Kombat in a way. So if you don't like Mortal Kombat, you might not love this, but I like Mortal Kombat a lot, so it's cool.
There were, I think, a really lot of cool moments, and one of the things I just personally want to shout out, just because I'm really, really, really big about like talking about future stuff, but someone inside the FGC, like I said earlier, Saki Sakura, was actually streaming this on TikTok. And I think that was the coolest part to me, was that there was an entire group of people that weren't even just showing it off on Twitch, weren't even just showing it off on YouTube or Twitter. Like this was being shown on every single platform that we currently have right now. So this game, when it comes out, it's going to be pretty well received.
I'm picturing like Jax like splitting Baraka's head in half to like, oh no,
yeah,
oh no, like.
That is exactly the type of content I want from TikTok.
I can't believe FGC. I got mixed.
I
got mixed in Mortal Kombat 1, and now like.
Just like some 10-year-old sitting there like, I guess I learned today.
Guess what I learned today? I learned that if you perform right down punch, you rip Kung Lao's head in half and turn his spine into a guitar.
Follow me as I debow Kung Lao.
That's right. That's right. Kung Lao, a new fatality. Kung Lao attempts the milk crate challenge.
Oh my God.
Just like shattering his spine in half, doing the milk crate challenge. Gets to the second to the top row, just zooms in.
Dude. Oh, the TikTok trend is just literally like Scorpion, like, I don't even know we have beef. I just know I have a promise.
just like the fatality is just Sub-Zero, like twerking like in portrait mode.
Oh, turn your phones this way, kids. Okay, no, but in all seriousness, congratulations to everybody who did get into the MK1 stress test. As you all know, stress tests are a very crucial part to game development, and they basically help us determine whether or not a game will be easily well received when it actually finally does come out. And I've noticed that a lot of teams take a lot of pride in the development cycle for games like this. Do you agree, Don? Like, I personally feel like when it comes to development and the work that you see people put in, especially behind the scenes, that's right, that can never be truthfully ignored. And so what I'd really like to talk about here specifically at this point in time, and this right here is me vamping for even more time, but I would love to talk about how development teams like the Project L development team hire people like you for a W. Right. So let's bring in the segue. Let's talk about it. Let's talk turkey.
Bring in the parade. The turkey is cooked. I'm working on Project L. The secret's out. Yeah, it's been interesting. I've done this podcast like since the relaunch. I've been working on this game, and like I've just been like, yep, can't talk about it. Like not like just in my head. Like it's been a secret for a while. I've been working on this game for quite some time. So it's nice that the secret's finally out, that I can talk about it. Yes, I am working on Project L alongside Apology Man, Nerd Josh, and Funtax. They went and fetched 4 different gamers from 4 different eras, and we have converged the timelines into Project L. So I'm working on the game. I'm here to make sure it's good for y'all. I hope it will be. If not, It's not my fault.
Don't ask me for shit. Don't ask me for anything.
That's right. Do not ask me for anything.
I have a couple of questions, and I think all of our listeners and viewers on YouTube will probably have a couple of questions too. So it would be bad form if I didn't ask you. But what is your exact role on the Project L team?
Yeah, so I'm a gameplay analyst. So basically, my job is to make sure that the game is fun and broken in the right ways and not the wrong ways.
Nice.
So basically, like an example, thinking about like Street Fighter, would be like if Ryu had a 50-50. Like I would be responsible for debating on and writing a summary on if that 50-50 is fair or broken, and if broken, giving it to the combat designers and going, yeah, here's why it's broken, or here's why it's not broken. That's basically my job. That, and like I can find broken things in the game, like actual bugs. But in general, that's what I do.
So do you feel like some of your experience and time competing inside of fighting games is building into this? Like, I guess if there was somebody that was listening that may be also looking to get inside of the game sphere of things, you know, what do you think would help prepare them for the exact role that you have now?
I mean, for my exact role, you have to be a pro player. You have to be a pro player or formerly a pro player. You cannot be a gameplay analyst without having a competitive background.
Sorry to all the washed up content creators that previously played Skullgirls.
You know, so here's the thing. I'm gonna provide a quote. They were looking for the most washed up mother to play the game.
Yeah.
And like
that's what it takes. No, it makes total sense. You know, you have Nerd Josh, you got you got Vineeth. You know, it's like, what else do you need? That's basically, honestly, that's an old folks home. You know? Yeah,
it is. They're looking for players that are strong, but like are not actively competing because they expected us to dedicate ourselves to this, right? I mean, Vinny, Apology Man competes, but Nerd Josh, you know, he competes, but not in the same way. Yeah. And Funtax hasn't really competed for quite a while. Like, really, if you don't know who Funtax is, by the way, he's a really strong Guilty Gear XX 2+R player. Probably from the most ancient era. Nerd Josh obviously been around a long time too, but the four of us, you know, we're all pros. We've all placed top 8 at many majors. We're all also very good lappers, so that is also critically important for the role. So if you're not a hardcore lapper that places top 8s, this is not the job that you can get into easily. It's also a job that is very how do I put this?
Would you say
need a professional?
Yeah, fair.
You need a professional like background too, right? Like you have to have a reputation of being reasonable and not like toxic and all that stuff, which just comes in general with the territory. But if you want to get into the games industry in general, all it takes is a mild interest in fighting games and a specialized skill set, whatever you want to do.
Vibes. I just went ahead and pulled it up for my viewers here, but you can actually follow Funtax, one of the players. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And it's not pulling up any longer for me. It just was, but
it's okay.
I had pulled up his photo, and I just wanted to congratulate everybody on the team. I had a feeling that Funtax may not necessarily be known to a few of the newer listeners to our podcast, but I would highly recommend that everyone go support everyone that's working on this gameplay staff, because they are technically considered to be game developers. They are helping to develop the game. And one of the important things to remember, especially as we go into this, and Don, I don't expect you obviously to add this, but I will add it just because I feel it's an important thing to add. If and when the game comes out, it's incredibly important that if you find a bug inside of the game, you do not directly mention it via Twitter to anybody that is a part of Project L. That is not how you report bugs, all right? I can promise you, based upon my history of working with development teams, if there's ever anything wrong with the game, you follow along with the official methods used to report bugs. And I mean, let's just be honest, let's just be real. Don's doing an amazing and very crucial, important job here for Project L.
Probably.
And we'll not have enough time to read all of your random fucking subtweets about broken shit if and when this game comes out. And I say if and when is because whenever a game comes out, there is going to be broken shit. So just deal with it.
And you know, my only ask is like, don't ask me for favorite champions in the game. You know, I can't answer that.
Yeah.
I hope that you're all excited. I am. This is a cool opportunity. I'm really enjoying working. Like after what happened with my previous employment, it's actually nice to follow my passions and like do what speaks to me. It sounds like a fun job. It's a ridiculously fun job. There's a lot of work into it too. But yeah, I hope, you know, Project L is cool, and working on it is a dream, and I'm very excited to. So, you know, it's cool. It's
thank
nice.
you.
I like
Thank
it.
you so much for sharing that with us here, Don. You know, you didn't have to do it on this podcast, but I do appreciate you just like opening yourself up to our listeners like that.
Yeah. I mean, like it's, how do I put this? A job's a job, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm working on a game. It pays the bills, it's fun. I think that's more than anyone could ask for. So
Very true.
Yeah, I'll be, if you know, when I'm not recording this, you'll know where I'll be.
In front of your computer studying and writing up papers on why something should be another way.
Yeah, you ever write a paper on a mix-up?
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, me too. That's why I got this job.
Yeah,
so,
I have a Reddit account, so...
Yeah, I have an Excel sheet of, like, when I was playing Dragon Ball, I had an Excel sheet of the probability of mix-ups hitting depending on, like, I would literally analyze matches and, like, calculate probabilities of like, mix-ups hitting and figure out, like, okay, even though this is technically a 50-50, people block this way more often on the first hit. I was a nerd, right? Like, I had to overcome the fact that, like, I'm a huge dork and people just, like, have the mental energy of... like their mental rocks, and I'm like, okay, I'll just run this mix this way every single time, and sometimes I'll mix it up just because the statistics say that way. You have to have that kind of mind. So luckily I have poison fighting game brain, and the only thing I know how to do is apply schmixture, so I will do that until the end of time.
I'm pretty sure that's the same disease that every single top player suffers for.
It's a tragic disease, really.
We should be spending more time and resources on like fixing that, honestly. Let's get healthcare for FGC, dude.
That's right. Yeah, we should get healthcare for the fighting game community. I think that, you know...
That should be the stand that I run on to get like Evo commentary or something. If you give me Evo hosting privileges for 2023, I will personally make sure everyone in the FGC gets healthcare to prevent these mix-ups, dude.
The Sarah McLachlan song, like to like the guy with his pants around his ankles playing Tekken, like, you know, just me in the lab and for 13 hours with like 7 Diet Cokes empty, just like me asleep on the floor of like Pasadena Regionals 2021, like just all the degenerate photos and situations I've been in, and like for $5 a month, you too can help a poor fighting game player who can't pay rent because he's too busy playing guitar at Mortal Kombat open beta. You can help her pay her internet bill and buy an Ethernet cord with only the small donations of $25.59.
Dude, you could help actually make this event a possibility by volunteering right now for Evo so that we get enough people running brackets. Speaking of brackets, as a matter of fact, now Don, I'm gonna let you take point here. I'm just gonna read this thread that you sent to me from Ace King Offsuit, someone that I actually had the good pleasure of working with when I was a host on Best of V Show, which is still currently running right now on twitch.tv/Best of V Show, as well as on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter, run by Elon, who is one of the only remainder of the like brought down leadership from Best of V Show, but he made an amazing bracket. I'll allow you to go ahead and read it here as we go through.
Yeah, so maybe instead of talking like through the bracket, like, or through the thread piece by piece, just because there is a lot. Yeah. I think the big thing to say here is Evo 2023 Street Fighter 6 is the biggest Street Fighter tournament, nay, fighting game tournament of all time so far, and registration is not even closed.
Jesus.
Yeah, over 5K people, more than Street Fighter 5's release by quite a bit, and Street Fighter 5, I think we have like quite a bit left in reg. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. To put it in perspective, right? You have to run about 250 plus pools of 24 players. your reward for making it out of pools at the biggest fighting game tournament in the world is that you get to run through pools in the second biggest fighting game tournament in the world.
Oh my god.
If you make it through 5,000, guess what? You got like 2,000 more people to get through. You are like in 2 days, you have to run that in 2 days. So, like this thread by Ace King of Offsuit, excuse me, I almost said Ace King of Suit. I always want to say that every time I see their name. But it goes over it in more details in terms of the logistics of running a tournament like this. Mainly that like you need a lot of buys if you don't have a power of 2, with the next power of 2 being 8,096, I think. With right now we're at like 4,050 something. I don't know,
Jeez,
48. But yeah, basically, there's going to be a lot of buys. It's going to be a lot of tournament running. If you want to help run this tournament, you should go ahead and volunteer. I volunteer at EVO almost every year. Will be this year also. Highly recommend that you do. And if you don't want to volunteer because you're like, I don't know what to do, one, I made a bracket video that you could watch on how to run a bracket. But 2, you can also enter, right? We need 8,000 people to have no buys. And no buys is way easier than having buys. So if you have not registered for EVO 2023, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And I believe early reg is still open, so you can register as of this podcast recording and as of when we go live.
Very, very correct. You can literally go over to evo.gg right now. They do have event passes available. They have competitor passes available to register now. You can also go ahead and get tickets for any of those days, and you can just get a bundle for spectators as well. If you click the register now link, it'll actually go ahead and take you over to the start.gg, and they have additional information as well on their webpage, which I just personally just want to say amazing stuff with their webpage. Like this is a really
nice.
sleek website.
It is a really sleek website.
This is what PlayStation and Sony money gets you, dude.
That's right. This is that Pokemon. All your Pokemon donations going to this website.
Shout outs to Pokemon. Please get us Marvel 2.
That's right. Give us Marvel 2. But yeah, Evo, I'll be there. Sharpie, I'm sure you will too.
I will not. It'll be 1 week before my wedding. Yeah, I will not be there. If I am there, there's something incredibly wrong with me, and I do not have my priorities straight.
Well, when I'm waiting in line at the Mortal Kombat 1 demo, because that's probably what I'll be doing. I'll have a cardboard cutout of you, and we can do our podcast
Chat,
live.
I just want to let you know, she did not tell me that there was going to be MK1 at EVO before this.
You didn't know that?
I did not know that. No.
Oh yeah, MK1's gonna be there. Yeah, they're gonna have a demo. I'm not sure what characters or what they're doing, but yeah, it's gonna be there.
I hope everyone has fun without me. Don't think about me in pain, looking at flower arrangements.
Every video game will come out eventually, unless it gets canceled. MK is not getting canceled. It'll be out soon enough. I'll be playing it, and I'll message you how much fun I'm having.
I appreciate you for that one. That's
welcome.
Very kind of you to do.
Yes, I mean I got 3 hours to wait in line to play Mortal Kombat, more than likely. Because it's a convention. So
very true.
That's where I'll be. I'll be cooking with Kung Lao, literally cooking someone's skull off and watching them turn into ash and bone.
Have I ever said that I was concerned about you, Don? Because I feel like now's a really good time to mention that.
Listen, you don't need. I made it this far in life. All right, true. I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm chilling. Okay. I'm chilling.
And I'm like Sharpie, and this has been the Fighting Game Podcast. Everybody, thank you so much for taking time today to coming over and listen to this episode of FGC Cast. Can you guys believe we're already on episode 8? We've been doing this for a minimum of like 8 episodes worth of time. That's right. I never would have thought. That's right. The bi-weekly podcast. Yes. Our 8th episode after about a year. We're here. We did it. We made it on the Fighting Game Podcast. The gaming fight podcast. The SEO laden
cast.
The FG Cast SEO laden start of Google search. Amazing. That's right. Yes.
That's right. The fighting
netcode, GGPO, Project L, Riot Games, Tom Cannon, Evo.
That's right. All of those things, 4K, 120 FPS, pronto coming at you live here on YouTube, Spotify. I don't know, like just
wherever else you get your favorite podcast. As a matter of fact,
Yeah, out of my car, just cruising around, blasting this out of the subwoofers.
My BlackBerry,
wherever you hear us.
My old. What's it called? Zune?
Yeah, your Zune. I actually did have a Zune back in the day.
So did I, dude.
Yeah,
Zunes were so cool. Zunes were cooler than iPods back in the day. Look,
yeah,
bro, we're going over. Look at us. We're talking about Ventrilo, Zunes.
Listen, soon it's gonna be like, I don't know, like, yeah, call
A-track,
into our
cassette
landline
tape.
and listen. Yeah, exactly.
Everybody, thank you so much. Any final thoughts before we go ahead and leave my good elder friend?
I'm an elder friend?
I was trying to go with the
My
geriatric
good-
theme. I was like, yeah, you know?
Listen. As I ascend the staircase in my stairmaster, let it be known that at the top of every stairmaster is a retirement home, and if you need me, I'll be in the Final Fantasy retirement home for the next month. So your FGC cast / fighting game podcast / Final Fantasy podcast coming to you live, coming to you hot. Excited to wish you all an adieu and have a great couple weeks until the next one. You know where I'll be. I'll be playing as that good boy Clive.
I'll be playing the superior game Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis. See you offline, gamers.
See you, nerds.